Hello, I'm Chris Harding. I'm the Chair of Hawkesbury Parish Council. This year, the Parish Council has decided to conduct its annual assembly remotely. So we have prepared this short video presentation, which should give a comprehensive update to parishioners. The past 15 months have been difficult for everyone, but thankfully, this we hope is going to come to an end and we will return to some semblance of normality shortly. Throughout the pandemic, the Parish Council has successfully conducted business via Zoom. This has taxed the broadband infrastructure and also the patience of most of us. And I hope this video comes through all right. Hazel, our parish clerk, is the only member of the Parish Council that is paid. And I would like to thank Hazel for the work that she has done, helping finding volunteers to help people of the parish who are shielding or isolating, checking on neighbours, and who otherwise needed help. So thank you, Hazel, and thank you to all those volunteers. Now, my fellow councillors will each give an update on various important issues within the parish. So I'll now ask Peter White to talk about the website. Thank you.
The last 12 months have shown how important it is for us to be able to communicate effectively with our local community. And whilst we already have a website in position, we reviewed this and decided that really it needed to be improved quite considerably, and also that we should make more of an effort in the area of social media. As a result of this, we have set down some objectives in terms of making our communications easy for all parishioners to access, to be attractive and also very relevant. As a result, we have decided to invest in a completely new website, which we hope to launch around about early autumn. And also at the same time, we will invest in a Facebook activity, which will also interact with that website and also, of course, with the community. Our key objective is to make the Parish Council more accessible to the community at large, and also to be a source of useful information for parishioners.
Thank you, Peter. That was very interesting. Now I'd like to ask Sue to talk about the Council's approach to the climate, the pool and the Gateway project.
Thanks, Chris. Hi, everybody. Over the last year, we've seen less transport and air travel, prompting us all to look at our carbon footprint. The Parish Council has taken the opportunity to address the climate emergency. And to this end, we shared information and advice from the Centre for Sustainable Energy through the parish website and the parish mag. However, we are well aware that we need to work harder at our communicating with parishioners, bringing people together to address these issues. The natural environment is one of the green issues we can all get behind. Hawkesbury Parish provides plenty of opportunities. Working with others, we hope to work on a local nature action plan, mapping and linking all those things that are already happening in the parish, such as the community garden. This will help decide on areas for the planting of new trees. The ownership of the parish land is limited, and we will need to work with landowners in achieving our tree planting goals. The pool is an example of how we can manage our natural environment. Hawkesbury Drovers Pool has a long history and is a focal point of local interest. The pool is registered common land in the ownership of Badminton Estate, and for many years residents have been involved in its maintenance. Over the last 30 years, several reports have been prepared and there have been many attempts at retaining the water. The water level has dropped and we currently have a decreasing pool in the winter and a very marshy area in the summer. A more recent, well-meaning attempt to clear the pool by the Cotswold Wardens has produced the pool pile, which has received many adverse comments. We are now looking at a new draft management plan, which includes spreading the pile and maintaining what water is there, developing a beneficial habitat for a wide range of flora and fauna. The plan will need support from the owners, but we hope to share this with the wider public and working together, develop and enhance this interesting asset for the village. As a Cotswold village, we were chosen to host one of the Cotswold Pathway notice boards, highlighting points of interest along 2 well-marked public rights of way. This project was supported by EU funding and managed by the Cotswold National Landscape Team. But thanks to them and the local walking group for all their help. Videotape is available. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. I would like to ask Mike now to talk about another emotive issue in the village, which is traffic and speeding.
Thanks very much, Chris. As Chris said, I'm Mike Wareham. There are a couple of topics I just want to briefly cover tonight around traffic signs, speeding and speed watch, and a little bit about CIL money. That's the Community Infrastructure Levy. So first of all, on speed, well, everyone in the village is concerned about speed and speeding. We've had the 20-mile-an-hour restriction throughout the village for quite a long time now. But we all know that there continue to be a number of people and cars, and particularly large lorries as well, that nevertheless exceed the speed limit. So as a council, of course, we're concerned. We've looked at alternatives, but the simple fact is none of them is a sort of silver bullet that's going to sort it overnight. There are many options. We've looked at traffic calming measures, but they're expensive and none are guaranteed to work. We've looked at the sort of smiley face signs, and there's quite a good feedback about the effectiveness of smiley face signs. We've got some costs in. We're looking at some alternatives. We're going to be looking at those actively over the coming days and weeks. And once we come up with the best option, then we'll look to move forward and implement something. But of course, they all come at a price. But one of the things I'll go on to in a moment, as I say, is the CIL money, which might offer us an opportunity to fund those. And of course, if you've got ideas about how we can curb speeding, then please do pass them through to any of us or through to Hazel. One of the other measures, of course, other than just trying to encourage the traffic to slow down, is to try and intervene and do something where we can. And one of the options around that is speed watch and monitoring the speed of vehicles as they go through the village. This has taken quite a while to get going. We admit we've got the volunteers now, which is great. They're awaiting the training. It's important that the training is given correctly. And as soon as we can get that training going, then we will plan to have the speed watch volunteers up and running, monitoring the speed of traffic sort of in key areas and at key times of the day, just to do everything we can to ensure that that people are safe in the village. And as I say, finally relating to that is CIL money. CIL stands for Community Infrastructure Levy, and it's a tool that councils use, regional councils, but also parish councils, to help raise funds from developers to deliver infrastructure like new schools, open spaces, public transport, all that sort of thing, which recognises that houses, whilst they're great, also bring some burden to communities. And so the Community Infrastructure Levy was introduced a few years ago, and most of it goes to South Gloucestershire Council, but we as a parish council get a percentage of it. And we're looking to spend that money on things that you want. There are some rules around what we can spend it on. It has to be to do with infrastructure, so roads and transport, things to do with schools, with parking, with open recreation spaces. And one of the issues with it as well is we've got a finite amount of time in which to spend the money. We've currently got £13,000 just over, and we need to spend nearly 3,000 of that 13,000 by September this year. So I say one of the options might be to introduce some of those smiley faces, speed signs, but we're open to any and every idea for what you would like to see that money spent on to improve the infrastructure and the facilities in your community. So again, please, any ideas to us would be really gratefully received. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I hope the parishioners will get back to Hazel with comments on what you've said. I'd like now to ask Deborah if she would say a few words about the allotments.
So, hi everybody, my name is Deborah Neame and I've lived on France Lane for 20 years now, which is the longest I've stopped anywhere. I'm the newbie councillor. I joined in the last lockdown, so I've yet to attend an actual meeting. It's just been Zoom so far, which have worked incredibly well. I really value that each member of the Parish Council is different from each other in the way that we think. We have different interests and often different views on the matters discussed in the meetings. And to me, this is the strength of the council. We're able and we're really welcome to have and voice our different views. So it makes a balanced and thought out outcome, really. I really enjoy that the matters are of the Hawkesbury Parish, helping us to oil the wheels of the community. As any council type business, I guess, sometimes our hands are tied with procedures. And there is a limit to the power of the Parish Council, but the main thing really is to gain the views of the community. So the more you tell the Parish Council of concerns, views, wants, then the more that we can help influence the change that Hawkesbury Parish wants and would like to have. One of the facilities that the Parish Council has that, to be honest, I wasn't that aware of before I joined is the allotments, just off Burgage Road. It's really, really well used. It's got a huge range of different people growing the most extraordinary vegetables, flowers and fruit, from people who are just starting out to grow to really well-seasoned experts. It's definitely a hive of activity throughout the seasons. In the middle of winter, you see people digging over their plots, etc. Lots of friendly advice. Lots of expertise, lots of how-to views are there as well, if you would like them. So I guess if you fancy joining the growing community, then get in touch with Hazel Jones, the parish clerk, and find out what plots might be available. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Next will be John Turner. Now, I would like to ask John to talk about potholes and also the very poorly hawthorn tree on the plain.
Thanks very much. Yep. Hello, everyone. My name's John Turner. I've got really 3 areas of focus I want to report on tonight. First one is trees. I'm quite interested in trees and planting them. And last year I took charge of 10 wild cherry trees on behalf of the council, potted them up, and I was able to distribute them to very eager members of the local community, and they're all planted now. I also have taken an interest in the hawthorn tree on the plain. One of them was not in very good shape, and in fact we do have permission to cut it down, but I did ask the council if we could prune it and see if this would invigorate it. I completed some pruning of the lower part of the tree, and the Gloucestershire wildlife people did the top half. So it is beginning to sprout now. So we'll just see if the tree recovers and grows. I hope we'll be involved in further tree planting exercises. I understand the Prince of Wales is going to take charge of a project next year called Green Canopy, I think. It's tree planting nationally to celebrate the platinum anniversary of the Queen, I think. So I hope we can get involved with that. I've also been involved in promoting, on behalf of the council, Debbie Young's book lending project. This is the sort of library in a box in the bus shelter. I hope this is a great success. And then finally, potholes. Whilst I've been walking around the village, I've been taking note of potholes that have opened up over the winter and reported these. I think it's important for us to make sure South Gloucestershire does repair our roads. I know they're only country roads, but they're very well used and they get a lot of traffic and they do need to be maintained. And I hope that if any other people, members of the village community, do come across large potholes, they too can report them quite separately to South Gloucestershire Council. So we keep our roads in good repair. Fine, thanks very much. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, John. I'd like to turn now to our other John Ruthven, who is also the Vice Chair of the Parish Council, and amongst other things is our videotape guru. But I'm sure John would rather talk about ecology issues. John, over to you.
Thanks, Chris, and hello, my name's John Riven, and I've been on the Parish Council for quite a while. I passionately believe that it would be great if more people in the village could be involved with what the Parish Council does. And so, like Peter in his website investigations, I looked into YouTube, which is a really good way, I think, of engaging people, because it's a modern social network, if you like. And so far, we've started a YouTube channel. We started it at Christmas, actually, last year. We've put 2 videos of people putting up the Christmas lights, and we've now put up 1 video of the sign going up. But if there's any other ideas, there's a comment section below, and you could write in that. Also, if you want to get alerted by new videos, just subscribe. I think people are probably more familiar than I am about YouTube, but so we've set that up, and it's another powerful way of increasing the conversation in the village. And I'm all in favor of that. So, you know, it could be a good way to suggest things to us. It's one way, it's not the only way, but it's a modern way. And I'm hoping that we can build up the YouTube channel. So thank you for that. Oh, you could also send in clips if you want to, or send them to me via Hazel.
Well, I think we're struggling with the internet because, well, Inglestone Common is a long way away from Hawkesbury, as you well know. But thank you very much, John. I hope that we covered most of the items that are of interest to you. But if you have any questions, please contact Hazel Jones. Before I close this presentation, I would just like to update you on 2 further matters. The cemetery extension or expansion. This has been an aspiration of the Parish Council for a while, and it's been driven by the dwindling amount of space that remains in the current cemetery. I'm pleased to say that the Beaufort estate is amenable in principle to selling some land from the adjoining field on the southern boundary. We are hopeful that we will be able to reach agreement on this during the coming months. Some finance has been accrued to fund this land, as well as walling and legal costs. The second item I'd like to just touch very quickly is the Community Infrastructure Levy funds, which is otherwise known as CIL money. We currently have £13,317 in our account, with 2,900 of this needing to be spent by September this year. That's in September 2021. The Parish Council would like parishioners' suggestions on worthy items which would benefit the infrastructure of the parish, which could be funded by this money. The money has accrued to us via South Gloucestershire Council, and there are certain rules and regulations on what it can be spent on and when it needs to be spent. But it's basically come from some of the development in the village. The final thing that I'd like to add is that where there is currently a vacancy on the Parish Council for a Parish Council councillor. So if you feel that you would like to partake and join this merry crew, then please apply to Hazel. And there is a selection process, but it's not too onerous. That's it. We hope that you found the annual assembly video interesting and useful. And thank you for viewing. Goodbye.